What does it mean to have your moon in the sign of Capricorn and in the 10th house in your chart? Find out now by watching today's video. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Isabel, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we're talking about what it means to have your moon in the 10th house and in the sign of Capricorn, because knowing your sign house combination of your moon is possibly one of the most important and impactful parts of your chart you can know, because your moon is your emotional patterns, your emotional needs. It's what we crave at the end of each day, no matter what we achieve. And the sign our moon is in tells us what those patterns are. And it's pretty common to know what our moon sign is in modern day world. But I rarely hear people saying the house that it's in as well. And the house tells you where you get these needs met. And this house piece to your moon in Capricorn placement really gives you the full picture of how exactly this moon in Capricorn plays out and can break some of the stereotypes that keep you from resonating from the moon in Capricorn. So in today's video specifically, I'm going to cover the moon in Capricorn standalone, the moon in 10th house, the moon in Capricorn and in the 10th house, and how this moon in Capricorn is going to show up in love, career, finances. And to wrap up today's video, we'll talk a bit about practical guidance steps or self-care practices, so to say, for the moon in Capricorn in the 10th house. And bear with me, I am getting over a bit of a sore throat. We're trying to record through it anyway. So first off, let's talk about what is the Capricorn moon. And I have a longer form video talking about the moon in Capricorn if you want a deeper dive. Simply put, the moon in Capricorn means that this person's emotionally fulfilled by success, discipline, and structure. I used to have a close friend of mine who had a moon in Capricorn on top of some very strong Gemini placements. And how this showed up for her is that regardless of her very intellectual, dynamic nature, she had a deep-rooted need to feel like she was making practical progress. The word that really does come to mind above all else for the moon in Capricorn is progress. Though Capricorn is already achievement-oriented and gets a lot of fulfillment through achieving an accomplishment, it's all about the pursuit. That is the Capricorn nature. That's why we have the word discipline associated with Capricorn, because there's a great satisfaction for them that comes through seeing the end goal and making progress towards it. So those who have a moon in Capricorn oftentimes try to fill their lives with feelings of structure and progress. And they oftentimes can trace their most depressed or low energy times of their life to the times where they had the least amount of progress. These people thrive on achievement. They thrive on progress. They thrive on making the goalposts, so to say, bringing the goalpost towards them, so to say. These people need to feel like they have some sort of aim and that they're working to accomplish it. Because they are also an earth moon as well, these people tend to handle emotions themselves in a more detached, grounded manner. As I say, for all earth moons, the moon in Capricorn may have a tendency to find the most emotional stability the more material stability is in place. While the moon in Capricorn doesn't tend to be a very wishy-washy emotional person, they do tend to struggle with frustration and feelings of stress or pressure more so than maybe our water moons. In summary, in case I haven't said it enough, the moon in Capricorn craves achievement, discipline, and structure and progress for emotional fulfillment. These are the things they seek at the end of the day. They want to feel grounded, successful, and secure. When it comes to emotional patterns and tendencies, the moon in Capricorn tends to be an emotionally detached person, so to say, whose emotions seem to be grounded and stable as long as their life is grounded and stable. And when they seem to be not making progress in their physical life, this is where we can see the moon in Capricorn's tendency to experience frustration, anger, or even just simply put stress or pressure. Those who have their moon in the 10th house of career and profession are emotionally fulfilled in their career. The moon in 10th house indicates that their emotional fulfillment in life mainly comes through their career, through having a profession. These people aren't satisfied by living just a simple life or having a simple job. These people need to feel that they have authority and that they're doing what they're absolutely best at. So simply put, a moon in 10th house needs to feel that they have a profession and a career path, or else they find themselves feeling lacking in fulfillment. On top of that, I would add as a subtle final note to this interpretation, I've met
so many moon in 10th houses who have found that they are more fulfilled by maintaining a career rather than going through stereotypical retirement.
What does it mean to have your moon in Capricorn and in the 10th house? This is a very interesting combination to have because the moon naturally rules over Cancer and Capricorn's the direct opposite sign. So the moon already feels a bit out of its territory in the sign of Capricorn, but additionally, the 10th house was created by Capricorn. So having Capricorn energy in the 10th house is a familiar energy. It's a powerful energy. But having the moon here, which is feeling out of its box, can bring a weird relationship, I would simply say, to emotions. With this placement, this is someone who really navigates emotions in a counterintuitive way to the modern day world. Their emotions are already naturally based a bit on their material structure and a bit on their success. And when this is in the 10th house, this means that the desire for success, discipline, and progress shows up mainly in the career. As we find with any moon in the 10th house, this person's emotionally fulfilled by their career. But how this shows up and what brings fulfillment to the career depends on the sign. So with the moon in Capricorn, these people crave a career where they are recognized for their ambition, drive, discipline, achievement-oriented mind. They want to be seen as the person who never gives up. Capricorn is known for having endless pursuit, for never quitting on things. That's the nature of Capricorn, is discipline to achieve the goal. And so if these people feel they are in a career where they're not seen for their disciplined nature, this can lead to a serious sense of depletion. On top of it, naturally, a moon in Capricorn handles their life, others, and their emotions with a sense of authority. They look at things very pragmatically and practically. And so this is something they want to be recognized for in their career and brings them fulfillment in life. These people may feel more comfortable in roles of authority where they are the stereotypical leader. Capricorn energy, 10th house energy, they go hand in hand in this case. And so these are people who want to be ambitious, disciplined leaders of some kind. This is our stereotypical CEOs and bosses of the world, people who are seen for their pragmatic, goal-oriented mind and don't let emotions enter the field. And the irony is here, the more they get to neutrally, in a neutral way, pursue their goals and achieve success, the more emotionally fulfilled they are. When it comes to love, the moon in Capricorn already can be much more of a grounded person. Again, I used to have a friend of mine who is still a friend, but more distant, who had this placement. And when it came to love, though she loved being doted over and adored, just as any female does to some degree, all these stereotypical feminine ways that we want to receive love, what was more important to her as a moon in Capricorn is I want to share goals. I want to feel like we're on the same page for levels of ambition. And so any moon in Capricorn already has that. But when this is in the 10th house, this can accentuate this energy. I would say my interpretation of a moon in Capricorn in the 10th house is the love of success, or the success in love. A moon in Capricorn in 10th house, when it comes to love, is going to pursue someone or something that is focused on success, achievement, and discipline. In one interpretation, this could be the love of status for many moon in Capricorns in 10th house, because the moon in Capricorn in 10th house craves to be an authority. And what often happens when we can't fulfill that for ourselves is that we seek out that authority. So these people may be drawn to those who hold higher status or hold higher levels of accomplishment because they seek that sense of authority and success in love. Ideally, a moon in Capricorn in 10th house wants someone who's just as driven as them, just as ambitious as them, and can handle goals in a practical, pragmatic, progressive, focused way, focused on achieving the goal. These people are not necessarily huge fans of wishy-washy, let me buy you flowers, or let's go out on date nights. Everything for them is about how does this practically help me? So these people may take more of a practical approach to love than what is stereotypically present in modern day world. Additionally, as we find, I believe, for any moon in 10th house, is that these people may love being the authority. With the moon in 10th house, yes, this means in and of itself that you are emotionally fulfilled by having a career and a profession. But additionally, the 10th house is the house of recognition. And so when we have the moon in the 10th house, these people feel most loved when they are recognized, as opposed to maybe a moon in 7th house who feels most loved when they are equal and seen, so to say. There's a bit of a different energy here. A moon in 10th house wants to feel like they are, in a sense, put on a pedestal for their moon sign traits. And so a moon in Capricorn will find in the 10th house that they feel most loved when they are recognized and adored for their ambition, for their discipline, for their success-oriented mind, for their ability to never stop, to never quit, and to maintain progress, maintain pursuit. And so if you have a moon in Capricorn 10th house partner, I would really keep this in mind and making sure that you are highlighting these things in them, whether it's in more group settings, saying, let's give a round of applause for my Moon and Capricorn partner for doing this, or if this is just saying, I see how hard you're working. Also with the Moon and Capricorn in 10th house, they're going to feel more loved, more in a practical way. So they probably want someone, once again, who focuses on goals alongside them or helps them pursue their goals. So maybe, again, not the stereotype of, oh, here, let me give you a massage or let me plan a date night for you, but instead, hey, I got you this course that I think will help you with your business. You mentioned that you wanted to do it, but you weren't pulling the trigger on getting it, so I got it for you. It starts this day. Someone who pushes them is something that can make the Moon in Capricorn in 10th house feel very loved. When it comes to career and finances specifically, the Moon in Capricorn in 10th house, because this is such a stereotypical energy, will pursue career and finances in a very stereotypical, success-oriented way. The Moon in Capricorn in 10th house specifically is probably someone who strives for success and to rise the ladder in their career. These people can be drawn to career paths that shoot for the moon from the get-go. These are probably people in childhood who set high, lofty goals very early on and are likely to achieve them. It's not that some personality types are more drawn or likely to achieve than others, but some crave it more. And the Moon in Capricorn in 10th house is one of those. So the Moon in Capricorn in 10th house will likely pursue and interact with career in success-oriented, progress-oriented ways. These people cannot handle jobs that don't have progress, and they will likely feel very unfulfilled in these realms. Yes, it may bring a sense of stability if it feels like there's a material gain through it. This can be important to a Moon in Capricorn in 10th house if they have a career where they have financial security, but eventually they're gonna find that they feel depleted and drained if there's no sense of progress. These people want to create their own roof, so to say. They want to break through boundaries and see how far they can go. So being in a career path that allows room for growth is very important for these people and maybe their tendency. When it comes to finances in particular, the Moon in Capricorn in 10th house is going to be the person who stereotypically spends on their success. And because they want to be recognized as successful, these people can be drawn to more items, luxuries that show off their success. This is the stereotype of people who have 5 Lamborghinis or have the nicest watches, or not to say that they're egotistical and flaunt their success, but they want their success to be known because that's their emotional need, is to feel successful. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, yes, I am such a Moon in Capricorn in 10th house, but I can't just go become a CEO, or I can't go buy the nicest watches. How do I fulfill my moon sign's emotional desire for success in the 10th house? How do I live by this? I want to wrap up today's video by talking a bit about the most practical advice possible that I would recommend someone keeps in mind if they have this placement. First off, the biggest one I notice for Moon in Capricorns, regardless of the house, is count your accomplishments. Oftentimes, because the Moon in Capricorn has such lofty goals, they always discredit how far they've come. So Moon in Capricorn in 10th house, when it comes to specifically your career and authority you've built in the world, look at how far you've come. Compare yourself to your 10-year-old self, 15-year-old self, 25-year-old self, 30-year-old self, wherever it is in your life. Look back over the past and see how far you've come. Give yourself credit for the progress you have made. And this is something I'd recommend as a self-care tip Moon and Capricorns do on the daily. Show yourself the progress you've made, even in the smallest ways. Though you guys aren't as task-oriented as a Virgo moon or Virgo placement, sometimes taking stock of the tasks you have done to reach or make progress on your goals can give you more sense of emotional fulfillment than you realize. What emails did you send today? What outreach did you do? What conversations did you have? You drove to work today. That's progress. That's an action that puts the needle forward in your financial goals, that moves the needle forward in your career goals. Give yourself credit for even the littlest things that you do to make progress in your career. Secondarily, I'd really recommend, as I do to any moon in 10th house, but especially the moon in Capricorn, is have somewhere you get to be an authority. If you're currently working towards rising the ladder in your current line of business and you're not quite in that role of leadership or authority that you want to be, find supplementary circles to be a leader in that align with your ambitious, disciplined nature. What this could mean is starting some form of social group or joining some form of group where you get to be a leader, or even surrounding yourself with more ambitious people who you get to be an educator for. I would think of this as hosting a mastermind or a business class, or maybe it's something different. Maybe it's a run club, but having somewhere where you feel like you're at the top of the authority hierarchy and showing your progress, showing your skill, feeling accomplished. This can sound a bit egotistical, especially in modern day world, how much we're told to try to be the worst in the room to learn more. And that is needed for every person, and especially for a moon in Capricorn in 10th house. But in a self-care recommendation, in a piece of guidance to help you find emotional fulfillment on a daily basis, having circles where you feel like you have authority is necessary for your fulfillment, especially authority for your level of success. So, Moon in Capricorn, what are you great at? What are you amazing at? What do you feel like a professional in? Try to create some form of group or find a group where that authority for what you're good at gets seen. Maybe this is more of an educational role. Maybe this is just more of a spotlighted role. But surrounding yourself with rooms where you feel like a winner is what is needed for your fulfillment. And finally, number 3, that's gonna sound like it goes against everything I've talked about in this video, is define what success means to you. Because yes, I believe that most moon in Capricorns, especially in the 10th house, craves stereotypical success. But as I've worked with many more clients over years of doing readings and seeing people with strong Capricorn energies and Capricorn moons, it's very important for you to define Capricorn energy for yourself. And that is the work that all of us end up doing in astrology anyway. We're meant to define how we want each archetype to show up in our life. And the most important one to define is your moon sign, along with your north and south node. So moon in Capricorn in 10th house, you crave success, you crave authority, you crave recognition. It's very important for you to identify what success means to you, what recognition will look like to you, and what you want to be recognized for. So maybe success for you is stereotypical. Maybe you want 5 multi-million-dollar mansions and all the Lamborghinis and all the watches and all the heels and all the fame, and you want to be on the front cover of every magazine. Or maybe success for you means I'm leading a team well. I know I'm doing the best work I could possibly do, and I have my little cottage in the woods. What does success look like for you? And this can be a very energetic, intuitive, emotional process, which can be very contradicting to the moon in Capricorn personality. But I would recommend that moon in Capricorns, close your eyes, clear your head, get into a clean slate phase state, whether that's going for a hike to get there or closing off, turning off your computer, and just think about the words, I am successful, and notice what comes to mind. That is your definition intuitively of your heart of what success looks like to you. And if you still don't know what that is, we can look at your entire birth chart in a reading to understand what success means to you based off of your life purpose, your chart, your talents, and your needs. But I recommend moon in Capricorns, you take this upon yourself to define success. And also with that, define what will recognition look like for me? Is it praise? Is it magazine covers? Is it seeing myself? What does recognition mean for you, and what do you want to be recognized for? This is actually something that we talk about a lot in human design for projectors that I recommend to my moon in Capricorns, is that projectors need recognition, but oftentimes can get recognition for the wrong things, and they find themselves being depleted. And that's because projectors need to be recognized for what feels like their wisdom and for their guidance, not necessarily their efforts, but maybe for you, this is your efforts. So really think about what you want to be recognized for, because you could be recognized for doing the dishes. Is that really going to make you feel good, moon in Capricorn? It's very important for you to identify what you want to be recognized for. So that is all I have for you on the moon in Capricorn in the 10th house. Let me know down in the comments below if this resonated for you, and if you have any other guidance as a moon in Capricorn in 10th house for fellow moon in Capricorns in the 10th house, down in the comments below. Share this video if it resonated for you. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos. Let me know what moon sign house combination you want to learn about next. Maybe it's moon in Aries in the 7th house or moon in Cancer in the 3rd house. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked today's video, if you found it insightful and helpful, and you want more practical ways to align to your chart and astrology in general to live a life that you love and that feels like a success to you, Moon in Capricorn, then I invite you to do 2 things. One is book a reading down in the description box below, where in 30 minutes or 1 hour, we can learn your birth chart and discover how you can live in alignment with it for your benefit, whether you're seeking a new career or you're looking for more self-care habits. If you want practical guidance to the stars based off of your unique energetic imprint, which is different than any other person's on the planet, then book a reading down below. And secondarily, if you're more of a learn it yourself type, which many Moon and Capricorns are, join my free newsletter where I send weekly guidance to how to use your chart in practical, simplified ways. These are quick how-to emails that touch on each aspect of your birth chart and how to align to it. So, for example, this week's was take into account your moon house, and here's one thing you should do this week or think about or contemplate with this moon placement. So if that all sounds good to you, learn more about the newsletter down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Thank you for bearing with me as I have a very congested sore throat as we're filming this. Stay tuned for more videos. Once again, my name's Isabel. From my heart to yours, namaste.